Kind of like when you're walking, if you're climbing a mountain, right? And you're like close to the top. You're like at the peak, but you're not quite there. And you look down. Do you want to start all over again? No, because it took you some time to get to the top of that mountain. So why would you go back? What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's Nefa TV, and I'm back with another video, A. And I'm back with another video, A. Look, long time no see. It has been a whole 7 days, y'all. And I took some time to like reset. I actually had to go handle some business, and God was just closing doors so other doors will be open. But for now on, I'm going to be as consistent as possible. I usually wait for God to give me a word, but the longer I stay in my Bible, the more words I have. So it's not going to be like it's been. I'm going to be way more consistent. However, I'm just here to let you know, don't look back. Don't look back. The song comes to my head and it goes, I won't go back, can't go back to the way it used to be before your presence came and changed me. And so basically what that song means is like, before God came into their life, they were a whole different person, right? But when God did when God did come into their life, they became somebody completely new. And when they became somebody completely new, they didn't want to go back to their old ways. And look, some of us are guilty of it. Some of us sometimes we backtrack. But that's why it's important to get to the root of why you went back. If God is closing a door, keep it closed. Because obviously he has another door open. Some of us are standing in the hallway and you're wondering, why isn't this door opening for me? Why isn't this happening for me? I want to move forward. Yeah, you want to, but you're not. You keep on dabbling with the past. You keep on hanging out with the exes you were supposed to let go of. You keep on going to them old atmospheres. You keep on going to them old mindsets. When you're transitioning into something new, a new atmosphere, a new mindset, you have to let go of the past. You have to let go of your old ways. And I done learned some things, and I had to go back home. I had a court case. And it was like when I went back, I could feel the atmosphere was different. It was weird. And it was like pressure to do what I used to do. It felt like pressure to do what I used to do. And it's just like in my spirit, I felt like, don't go back. Don't go back. You've come too far. And so you've come too far. You've come too far to turn around now. You've come too far to go back now. It's kind of like when you're walking, if you're climbing a mountain, right? And you're like close to the top. You're like at the peak, but you're not quite there. And you look down. Do you want to start all over again? No, because it took you some time to get to the top of that mountain. So why would you go back? And so that's really what I want to encourage y'all today, is to not go back. Don't look back. And you'll know if this is for you, because it will reside in your spirit. But some things that you let go of, you were supposed to let go of for a reason. There are just some things in our life that we don't need to pick back up. There are just some things in our life that we have to let stay back there. There's a reason why you moved forward. And here's another thing too. When we look back, and it depends on the situation, but when we tend to look back, we tend to get a little bit stagnant. We tend to stop growing, because now it's like you look back, you're going back to where you wasn't supposed to be at, and it's like now you're like compromising. You became stagnant because you went back. In the Bible, there was a time where there was a town that was really, they're sinning. They're very sinful, and they were doing a lot of evil in God's eye. And so God was like, I'm going to just destroy this town. That's it. I'm just going to destroy it. He warned his people that believed in him, walked with him. He warned them, hey, I'm about to destroy this town, so I'm going to give you some time to get out. There was a family in particular, right? And the family, like there's angels, God sent these angels to warn this family. And the man, you know, he's trying to tell his family, like, we gotta go. Some of them didn't believe him, some of them did. But anyways, the angels pretty much was pushing them out, like, y'all gotta go now because he's about to destroy this town. And the man was with his wife and his kids, and his wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. And for those of you who read the Bible, I'm talking about Lot. The man's name is Lot, and his wife. And it doesn't technically mean that she became a pillar of salt literally, but it means that she was destroyed. And some of you can't afford to look back. Some of you have to continue to move forward. Now, I know you may think to yourself, it's been tough moving forward. It's been a challenge moving forward. And sometimes looking back seems better. Sometimes looking back seems more comfortable. And it's like, no, you need to pray about that. Now, granted, there are some situations where God will reveal to you, hey, go back to that town I brought you out of. Hey, go back to that friendship. And this time it's going to be different. That's different. You know, you hear from God. You have to hear from God for yourself and see what he's telling you. But there's those of you who are tempted to go back to your old way of thinking, go back to who you used to be, go back to that person that you was freed from, go back to that old atmosphere that brought you down, going back to old mindsets. Move forward. It's time to move forward. We gotta close that door and keep it shut. You're going to have people that come up in your life and look, oh, you know, we should try to make it work. You know, I miss you. You're going to have that, especially when you're moving forward and God has new things for you and he got a whole new life for you. The past is going to try to come up and block you and distract you. But how bad do you want to move forward? Because you could go back, but you won't get stuck. You might just get stuck. You know, I was thinking to myself, like, maybe I should, what would have happened if I would have stayed with this person? Or what would have happened if I would have just stayed in this atmosphere that I was in before? When I went home, right? When I went home to go to that court hearing, I thought about them things. What would have happened if I would have just stayed here? What would happen if I just go ahead and contact that person I used to talk to and see if we can just work things out? Guess what? I felt in my spirit like you would be stuck. Because before you left here, you were stuck. You weren't growing. You weren't going nowhere. So you'll be just as stuck as you were before because there's a reason why I pulled you out. There's some of you that the Lord has pulled you out. He has literally pulled you out of a situation. Literally pulled you from one state to another. Literally pulled you from one country to another. Literally pulled you out of a relationship. Literally pulled you away from your family. Literally pulled you out because he wants to build you and mold you and shape you. But he knows that if you stay in that atmosphere, you're not going to grow. For example, if you put a shark in a tank, right? That's all it's going to do. That's as big as it's going to get. So say for instance, you have a shark tank this big, right? You have a tank, you know, for your shark, and you put your shark in there. That's as big as it's going to get. A shark grows according to its atmosphere. Okay, so if a shark is in a tank, guess what? It's only going to grow as big as a tank. But if the shark is out in the ocean, it's going to become a big shark because the ocean's bigger. So some of you were in places that were just too small for you. You may have grown up in it. You may have become a certain person. Maybe you built your business there. Maybe you became a new person there. Maybe you had clientele, whatever it is that you had. But then God put you somewhere else where you're in a bigger atmosphere. You were there for a reason and for a season. And that time is up for that part of your life. It's time to keep looking forward. So I know this is for somebody. Don't look back. It can get tempting. It can get tempting. But think about who you want to be, where you want to be, and how far you've come. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to turn back now? If you haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Be sure to join the team. Also, I have a reaction channel, which is in the description below. If you have any questions, y'all can hit me up on my social media. And, you know, let us know. If you need if you need me to explain anything, just let me know. God bless y'all. Stay tuned.